I'd like to welcome everyone here to Parnell's J Club.
The home of football.
To our special All-Ireland Senior Football Final Preview Night, hosted by Guinness and the Herald newspaper.
You didn't play minor. Why?
I didn't play minor because I wasn't good enough.
Really?
I was not good enough to get on the district minor team, Shannon Rangers. I was a fat young fella. Didn't know really what training was about or fitness was about. But Mico Dwyer saw something in me that year and asked me to come in and to join the senior team and asked me, you can pick your own position, midfield, joking, lad. So he brought me in then, and it was then I just started to realise what fitness was all about and how far behind I was, you know.
Bomber, could you describe the build-up to that All-Ireland final in '78? Because Dublin had won three of the previous 4 All-Ireland finals.
I remember that time that Kerry, I knew Kerry had a good team, but in fairness, Dublin had a better team, and they just, at the last 5 minutes, 7 minutes maybe, they just blew us away, you know.
We'll get on to Dublin in a minute now. Stop worrying, everybody. What was the rivalry like then when you came in '78? It was I think it only kicked off in '74 properly. You know, the Kerry-Dublin rivalry.
Yes, '74 Dublin won the All-Ireland. They had won their All-Ireland in '75. There was one story going around that one of the lads was going to go up and ask Mico Dwyer to know could he change training because the Rose Ball was on in Tralee, like, you know. So the focus was off that year and they got a good hammering.
Look, at the end of the day, that was a great occasion as well, and it could have gone anyway. It was only for a miracle point by Mars Fitz in the first day out. A game that we were completely coasting and we completely took the foot off the pedal, and only for Mars coming on that day and saving us, we were out the gap. And but that's Dublin, and Bomber referred to 1977. That game was on the edge until the last 5-6 minutes. That game could have gone anyway.
I'm going to bring Collie in here and talk about the goal that didn't happen in 2001. Can you care to share the memory of that first half in Thurles?
Thanks for starting with that one, Frank. Really appreciate it. As Seamus was saying, there was a super atmosphere in Thurles that time, and for Dublin players like myself and Barry and Mossy there, we unfortunately didn't get too many road trips. Most of our games were in Croke Park, but there was just a special atmosphere down in Thurles. But yeah, the first day I missed a bit of a sitter. I'd gone on a long run from our half-back line and got through a few tackles and ended up in front of the goal. Played a 1-2 with Desi Farrell. Probably wasn't expecting the return and just threw a leg on it, and I think it hit the corner flag. But thankfully, some people stopped talking about it 5 minutes later when Desi missed an even worse one. So.
If we were beaten, I was going downtown and getting a pint bottle of Mercedes Live APS.
What's Vinnie Murphy say to you when he comes in on you like that?
Vinnie played club football down in Kerry for long enough, and
I have to put my hand up. I was coaching him at the time. But get stuck into mine then.
That's not where he learned the sledging, was it?
Yeah.
But that was the start of the sledging, yeah.
To kick it on that angle, and it was quite a windy day, and it was a wet surface. It was the most perfect thing I have ever seen in Gaelic football. So it was.
And Tommy Carr was around the place, wasn't he? He was in the vicinity anyway.
Tommy Carr had a word. It didn't work.
Tommy Carr was like a good caddy, telling him what way the wind was blowing to bring it in from left to right. But he absolutely nailed it, and I mean it was over the black spot. It was perfection.
Bomber, talk to us about Vinnie Murphy then.
Vinnie Murphy.
Full forward to full forward.
Fantastic in the air and 2 fabulous feet. Really was. Very fast over 3 yards. Or 13 yards.
He's like Martin Whelan there down in the crowd.
But tis the first 3 yards that count, lads, I tell you that.
There's nothing I would love more. It's a dream of mine to have the hill chanting my name. But there must be a lot of pressure as well when things aren't going well.
The noise when it's going well is incredible, and it just, as a player, you feel fitter, stronger, more accurate. Your confidence up, your tail is up, and And that's why Dublin go on these purple patches at times, you know, where they can bang in 1-3, 1-4 in the space of a couple of minutes.
From Bomber and Seamus, ye feed off that. That's perfect.
Well, all we'd be hearing from the hill is, "Liston is a monkey. Ooh, ooh, ooh."
I saw you.
That's where the sledging started.
I think it was your second goal in 78. You actually ran right in front of the hill. You were taunting them.
I was mesmerised. I couldn't believe it myself. I didn't know where I was going.
You're laughing big monkey though.
A gorilla.
They're a more compact defensive unit. And they're a fantastic team. Like, Jim Gavin has been in charge of this team for 8 major competitions at this stage. He's won 7 of them. 3 National Leagues, 1 All-Ireland. And I think he's going to add his 2nd All-Ireland on Sunday.
You will not sleep tonight when you hear what I'm going to say. It's going to be the most stressful last 5 minutes for you. The hill will be so quiet. I'm telling you, some of the dubs, I am telling you, lads, I dreamt it last night. I'm telling you. And it only happened to me once before that I dreamt, and it was right.
When?
1978. I tell you, lads, you're in for an awful hiding tomorrow, I'm telling you.
It's really, really difficult to know. We don't know the Dublin team for starters, and I think the big question mark is the Dublin midfield.
I think you'll see Dennis start. I think you'll see Brian get a bit of freedom, and then 20-25 minutes you'll see kind of Tasmanian Devil type performance from Michael Dara.
And Barry, because Kerry scored 3 goals against Dublin the last time, do you think they'd be a little bit spooked by that?
Yeah, definitely. Like, I agree with what Seamus Moynihan said earlier. I mean, I think Keane has been, phenomenal this year, just playing in that role at centre back. From Dublin's perspective, well, actually from both teams' perspective, I think there are gaps at the back. I think individually they've good defenders, but collectively they're not quite as strong as both teams would like to be, and certainly they wouldn't have been as strong as maybe Donegal the last couple of years, or even Tyrone defensively, how good they've been this year.
Mossy, you know Dermot Connolly probably better than anyone in this room. Do you think there could be a really huge All-Ireland final in him?
Yeah, I'd like to think if he gets enough ball and the type of game might suit him, and I'm interested to see who from Kerry's going to pick him up and how tightly they're going to stay with him. But yeah, I'd like to think he's a big performance. I like a bet on first goal, and Dermot's usually a good option for that. Johnny
Cooper was absolutely flying during the league, but he's been taken off several times as this championship has gone on. Are you anyway concerned about his form, or do you think he can pick it up again?
Yeah, the one thing with Johnny, he seems to be trying to. He's getting quite physical in some of the games. He's getting involved in.
Seamus.
Yeah, but yeah. Aside from that that wasn't even intentional. But Johnny is he's playing a kind of a free role. A lot of teams generally don't play 3 in the full forward line, and Johnny's kind of coming out the pitch.
When I started playing, you come on as a sub, you play well, you're starting the next day. But now, because it's a 20-man game, now coming on and playing really well could suddenly say, right, you're my man to come on for 20 minutes.
Might do you more harm, yeah.
Yeah, do you more harm than good. You're supposed to come on and play shit. That's the way I used to do it.
You were pretty good at it as well.
I was very good at it, very good at it. I wouldn't believe a word of this anyway, so we call it out anyway.
This is the Friday night discussion document. Stephen Cluxton. Johnny Cooper. Rory O'Carroll. Philly McMahon. James McCarthy. Cian O'Sullivan. Jack McCaffrey. Brian Fenton. Dennis Bastick in midfield. Paul Flynn. Dermot Connolly. Kieran Kilkenny. Paddy Andrews. Dean Rock. And Jimmy Keaveney. Yeah, Bernard has just been ruled out with injury, I hear.
The big factor for me, obviously, is Cian O'Sullivan as well. I fancy Dublin by a couple of points. If Cian doesn't start, I think it's very much then a 50-50 game.
Yeah, Barry pretty much stole my answer. Yeah, I have said Dublin all year, so it's not just because we're here. I have been saying it since the start of the year.
And just before we get to Seamus, I just noticed, are the blue shirts, Barry and Mossy, are these... is this on purpose?
We've a WhatsApp group of former players, so any Dublin player doing anything over the weekend has to wear a blue shirt.
Ah, that's sad, that's sad. Of all people in this room, you are the one person who is impartial and who has played against both teams at the peak of their powers. And you are in the heart of North Dublin.
I think it's genuinely going to be very close. I think Kerry will have learned a lot from 2013, and they'll probably be a small bit more conservative. So I think Kerry might edge it by a couple of points.
He said Kerry there. What are you cheering for?